In 2020, Democrats took full control of Washington.
And it will give Democrats control of the Senate.
Joe Biden has been elected.
But Republicans stood up in the states.
There was no blue wave. Democratic down-ballot disasters carried all the way to the state legislatures.
Now, we're the last line of defense against the Democrats' socialist agenda. The ways we're fighting back are bigger than you think. Thanks for joining episode 15 of It's Bigger Than You Think, a conversation about the politics that most impact our everyday lives. I'm your host, Annie Moore, and joining me today is Tennessee Senior Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator, thanks so much for joining us.
I'm delighted to join you. Thank you so much.
It's great to see you. All right, let's just get right into it. Can you, tell us your story? What made you first want to run for office? You've been doing this for a little while.
Yes, indeed. I grew up in a family where we were always encouraged to be involved in the community, to give back more than you take, to leave things in better shape than you found them, and to look at life as our civic duty, making certain that we voted, that we participated. That was important to our family. And those were lessons that I carried with me. I was active in the Republican Party, active in young Republicans, Republican women. And then there was a need to fill a state Senate seat in Tennessee, and I was trying to help recruit a candidate, and it kind of got turned around on me, and people said, no, Marsha, you need to be the one to run. And I did. And you know what? I found that I was so energized with public service and being able to help others solve problems that existed. So that is really how I came to the field of public service. And I think you have a calling in your life to be of service, to help other people. And that was placed there for me. So being able to serve in the state Senate, the House, and then the U.S. Senate is an unbelievable honor.
So as you said, you served as a state senator, a congressman. In 2018. You became the first woman senator in Tennessee history, which is so cool. Can you talk about how your time in state office really helped to kind of prepare you to advocate for Tennesseans at the federal level?
Yes. What is so important is as you look at public service, raising your hand and saying, I want to do this. And a lot of people will start at a city council or serving on a committee there in their community. I think that's fantastic. And serving at the state level, running for a state level office, you have that opportunity to kind of get into the nitty gritty of fundraising, to build an organization of people that are going to be there to help you to go through the campaigns that are a vital part of public service. So it is a wonderful way to become not only familiar with those campaign processes that are necessary, but also with the issues that are going to be important to the people that live in your community and that live in your state.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So as a woman breaking into politics, right? What kind of obstacles did you face in that regard? And do you think those still exist today, or have we made progress as a party?
There is progress that has been made. Absolutely. Some of the obstacles still exist. I think one of the biggest obstacles is having people believe that a woman can do this job. Because many times you will be campaigning for an office to which a woman has never been elected. So you have to kind of jump that hurdle. But the good thing is the more women are out there running, the more they're framing the issues and they're becoming viable in and competitive in these races, the more doors that it opens for women. And sometimes also, in addition to believability, women will, especially conservative women, have a little bit tougher time raising money than men do. And this is one of those things we're just going to have to keep at it until we come to parity in the number of dollars that are raised.
So what's it like to be an example of, a woman in politics who's shattering these glass ceilings and define the left's narrative that it's Democrats who are the champions for women?
What I have found is that most women are really a lot like me. They are juggling a lot of balls at one time, and they're wives, they're moms, they're business owners, or they have a career outside of the home. They're busy with children. They're helping to care for grandchildren or for elderly parents. So they have true multifaceted lives. And I think about public service not as gender specific, but as I'm the most well qualified for this job, because I do have that understanding of what it's like in real life to deal with inflation every time you grab a cart and go through the grocery store, to deal with inflation every time you pull up to the gas pump, to share those concerns with what I term security moms, because we all want safe communities and we're concerned about gang violence, about this defund the police movement and how that has brought violence to so many communities, about the uptick in crime, about what's going on at the southern border, and how that is bringing gangs and drugs and sex trafficking and human trafficking into so many of our communities, turning every state into a border state and every town into a border town. And you know what? There are women all over this country that share that exact same group of concerns.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. What would you tell other women who are thinking about running for office to, try to fight back against some of these things that the radical left is pushing?
What I would tell women that are looking to run for office is find some good people who can come around you and help to mentor you and to educate you. Dig deep on these issues. Follow people like me, other elected representatives that are working on issues that are important to you and to your community, and then raise your hand and volunteer. Get a taste of what it is to lead people on different issues. Learn how to advocate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great advice. At RSLC, we're launching the Right Leaders Network, and you have graciously agreed to be an advisory council member, which is super awesome, and we're really excited to have you. But can you kind of expand on why you think it's important to recruit and mentor more women and minorities who best reflect their communities?
Here's why it is so important for women to step up and lead. Number one, our country needs you, and they need the enthusiasm of women who love freedom and are going to fight to defend that freedom for future generations. I say every day I go to bat for defending 5 things: faith, family, freedom, hope, and opportunity. And that is what we want to preserve for the next generation. I think that women have such wonderful, multifaceted careers and experiences, and bringing those real life experiences to bat is important. And with the network and the support behind you, we can be here to say, hey, let's get this job done. You're the right choice. You are going to be a well-informed choice, and you will be able to serve well, to lead, and to help preserve freedom.
So we recruit candidates like yourself who start in state office and oftentimes go on to run for governor or U.S. House or Senate.
Yes.
How do you think the RSLC's work to build a strong bench of conservatives in the states will affect the future of the Republican Party?
The way this is going to affect the future of the Republican Party is to show that we have a very diverse tent, and we have people that have worked as teachers and nurses and doctors, people that have been moms, people that have been involved in the classroom, people that have worked in business, owned their own business, and they are bringing those skill sets to bear. When they come to the Republican Party to run as a candidate, to win, to serve, to lead, then what they are doing is showing the way for others who are going to be coming behind them.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What's one piece of advice that you would give these candidates that you're going to be mentoring to hear in terms of, running a good campaign? What's your number one piece of advice?
I would tell them to know the issues, to study and to be conversant on the issues. And I would tell them to learn how to have these conversations with people, to ask the questions of people. And I think this is so vitally important, that you learn how to engage people that may not agree with you because they're listening to the mainstream media. And when they push back, know how to ask them the questions so that you can engage them, have a good point-counterpoint discussion, and then hopefully pull them your way.
Yeah, it's better to lead them to, the right answer than to just tell them the right answer, right?
That's right. That's true.
Alrighty. Okay, so how do you think that Republicans are going to do in the midterms?
I think the Republicans are going to do very well in the midterms. The issue set in the environment out there is very good for us. President Biden's approval ratings are lower than just about any other president ever. And at this point in history, you have inflation that is skyrocketing. You have the price of fuel that is up. Afghanistan was a debacle. They have fumbled the COVID. Thank goodness President Donald Trump gave us Operation Warp Speed and a vaccine. You see world leaders, our partners, our NATO partners are very frustrated with us. China is very aggressive, as is Iran. And I think it's fair to say that just about every major decision that Joe Biden has made has been the wrong decision, and Kamala Harris has been absent.
Yeah, where has she been?
And we don't know.
Nobody knows. But okay, so that's the Democratic Party and all of their failures. But what makes you most optimistic about the future of the Republican Party?
What makes me most optimistic about the future of the Republican Party is the way we are bringing in so many new voters to our tent. People want to make certain that we are focused on freedom. We continue to be focused on keeping this nation free. As Ronald Reagan told us, we don't pass freedom along in the bloodstream. Every single generation has to fight for it. Women are at the forefront of that fight.
So what are the kinds of policies that you would want to be talking about right now if Biden and the Democrats weren't in control in DC?
There are several policies that we are working on right now. One is the threat to China. And it's been frustrating for the American people to see how the Biden administration has kowtowed to China, and how China has not taken responsibility for COVID. They continue to take American jobs. They cozy up to American corporations. And then once they have brought them into China for all the manufacturing, they place demands on them, Chinese Communist Party demands. And we should be focusing more on that issue. Also, I'm leading the effort to hold big tech accountable. In addition, we're spending a good bit of time talking about the national debt. It is out of control. And since Biden went into office, the first 8 months, $7 trillion in spending.
Absolutely insane. Okay, so this is my last question for you. It's a little bit more fun. Why do you think that Tennessee is the best state in the nation?
Tennessee is the best state in the nation because we have great food, the best music on the face of the earth. We have fabulous people, and we have no state income tax. That is one of the reasons that we are always listed as one of the top places in the country to live, to work, to rear a family, and to move your company.
I ask myself every day why I moved from Nashville to DC. So that is 100% true. I love Tennessee. Great state. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Senator. And thanks everybody for listening. Don't forget to subscribe to the pod on whatever platform that you're listening to. And always remember, state politics have implications that are bigger than you think.